Hi. Today I'd like to talk about the spirit world. And the spirit world has, as far as I know, has 36 levels. And Jesus was, when he incarnated back to the earth the second time, he had reached the 36th level. All the spirits who incarnated again came from that level, and I'm pretty sure that you would need to get to that level to be able to incarnate. And I don't even know if anybody else will ever incarnate. I don't know that. And we probably all from the earth, I would say, certainly in the Western world, the world that I know, would when their body dies, they will enter into the first level. And the first level has a wide gradation of levels, of not numbered levels, but just a wide gradation of levels of progression, let's say. And the very lowest is what is called the hells, and the lowest is very, very dark, very dark. And the top of the first level is similar brightness and similar to the earth. It has similarities to the amount of light that is in the earth, and just even the physical objects would have some similarity. And there is in some levels there is a definite thing that you have to progress to be able to go to the next level. Like from this, I think it's from the second to the third, you cannot lie anymore. You cannot tell an untruth. You cannot do the little white lies that we do, the fibs that we do. We can't say those things, even if we know that somebody might feel hurt by it. Those things we do now in our life that we just don't say because we know somebody's not going to like it. You can't do that. You can't do that anymore. All that would be, you would just progress out of that. You would just stop needing to do that. And to go from the second to the third, all of that has to be gone. So there is that one I know. I don't know them all. Maybe there's more. I don't know. But the other one I do know is at the 6th level is where many, 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 many people are, and that's the height of what's called the natural love path. That's as far as you can go on the natural love path. Now, the natural love path is what Adam and Eve, or a man and a mon, had when they were created. They had everything they needed, or they would have been in this if their soulful level, their level was at the quality of being at that height of what it is in the spirit world, and that is, and many people progress to that, and they're quite happy, very happy, and there's always more things to learn, and to be involved in, and to have people that are interested in what you're interested in. And it's a very bright place, much brighter than the first sphere, the first level. And there's just a lot going on, and it's a wonderful, wonderful place. And many people, most people end up there. They don't have to stay there. But there's many that don't recognize that you can progress further. And that to get to the 6, it's called the natural love path. So you're the natural love, the love that we have for mankind, for other people, for other things in the world, and animals and everything. That's where you have the purest love, and you act in a very loving manner to everything. And you have looked at all your sins, you have repented of all your sins, and you do that by partially intellectually, by looking at what you have done in the past, what you did on the earth, what you did in the lower levels of the spirit world. You look at them and you repent. You feel the pain. You do it intellectually, but you also do it, the expression from your soul. Your soul has absorbed all of that, all of those unloving behaviors that you did on earth or in the lower spirit world. Your soul knows those things. It's in there. And to access that, you really need to access your feelings and all of your feelings. And I've talked about that some, and that's just you. That's how you would progress: is feeling your feelings that you didn't want to feel in the past, and then from that you can recognize your unloving behavior towards other people, or towards God, or towards animals, or towards the environment in which we live. So that's a process, and it's generally takes quite a lot of time, and everybody's different. Everybody takes a certain amount of time, and some people have say been in the hells for years, and but there is an opportunity for everyone, and everyone has free will, so they can make that choice. And a lot of times what's keeping us in the hells or in the lower spheres is our belief systems, what we believe to be true. And if what we believe to be true is not true, then that is we could call that a sin. And the things we do, like not believing in God, and by believing that Jesus is God, these things are beliefs that are not true. And in the spirit world, to progress, we will work those things out. We will come to realize that our beliefs were not correct. And there's lots of other beliefs that we have. We after living on the earth, while living on the earth, we have absorbed and thought and believed many things that go on the earth, that if you look at them in a more realistic, truthful way, we can see that they are not actually loving. They are unloving actions. And I will talk about some of those things. I've touched on some of those in the past, but I will talk about that more as well. So I talked about the 6th sphere, but so how did Jesus get to the 36th sphere? Well, he got there by practicing what he preaches. And what he preaches is everyone, to progress, you would need to have sincere prayer and longing for the love of God, for God's love to enter us. We can receive God's love. we have to be willing to receive God's will. We have to recognize that God is there as an entity who can give us that love, and that is really the simple answer to how do you progress past this sixth level. So if you do some of that, and then the seventh level is the beginning of the celestial path, the celestial spheres. And I think that when Jesus died in the first century, he was at a level, a spiritual level, to actually he entered the 10th sphere. So he didn't actually need to go through the nine below that. He entered the 10th sphere. Now, when you can, whoever you are, you can go to a lower sphere. You can move, you can go down, and many spirits do go. You don't have to stay in your level. You can go down into other levels. You can't go up. You can't go up without growing, without progressing in the manner in which I'm speaking. But you can go down, and many people do go down, and many people do come down to the earth, and many spirits do that. Many spirits do that, and many of them are positive spirits, and they are here. They help us. We each have a guardian spirit and a what's the other one? I can't think of the name, but we each have two beneficial spirits that are connected to us. They are God's angels, let's say. God doesn't do it specifically. He does not do these things, but he has assigned or assigned through other high-level spirits to do these things. And spirits, I think, pretty much they have things to do, things that they've come to desire to do to help other spirits and to help people on earth. Now, I was talking about spirits being able to move down. Now, as you progress in the spirit world, you get brighter and brighter and brighter, and your energy is just different. And if you come down into a lower sphere, you need to limit your brightness because it's too bright for lower spirits just to be in the presence of. So I guess that's not that easy to do, particularly if you go really low. You have to darken yourself to such a degree that it's very, very difficult. So I'm pretty sure that the really high spirits cannot come to the earth. Well, they maybe can, but you wouldn't see them. You wouldn't. They'd just be too bright. And I mean, there might be spirits here, and if they were, but we can't see them. My camera can't see them. They could be right here, but we're just not attuned to seeing them. There are people who can see them, people on the earth who can see spirits or sense them, and so it's just something that we can be thinking about, and we're certainly not going to see them. Well, we might, but I mean, you just kind of have to have an idea that they're there to be seen, to grow, to be able to see them. I hope to be able to see them at some point and recognize them. I was talking about the difference between, let's say, excuse me, God's love and man's love, or the things we do on earth that we just feel are completely normal and natural, under God's laws and God's perceptions and God's beliefs that may not be loving, although we think they are. And one is one thing that we is huge on the earth is the we do not love ourselves. We think badly of ourselves, and that's a sin. That's it's just a terrible thing to do. I think almost all of us do that to some extent, and it is something that is that we really, I think one of the main things we really have to come to understand and to feel. But one thing kind of under that is what we do a lot of times, and parents do this a lot, and is to actually sacrifice ourselves for another person. And we kind of think that that's a wonderful thing on earth. We think it's a good thing to sacrifice ourselves for someone else, but it's not. It's not. We are showing that we don't love ourselves to the degree that we could. It's not that we don't give to other people what is good to give them, but when we are sacrificing, when we really don't do things that we could be doing for ourselves that don't hurt anyone else, and then that is, if it's sacrificial to us, sacrificial to our soul, then it's not love. So that's one huge thing that happens on the earth. Another thing is our belief structure. If our belief structure is not correct, if it's not true, if it's not really the way it is, and there's all kinds of man's beliefs that are not true. Lots of us don't know they're not true. But one huge one, of course, is not believing in God. And you can certainly, many people do that. But it's not true. It's not your belief is incorrect. You can have that belief, but I just believe that it's incorrect. And if there's an incorrect belief, then you are not living the truth. You're not living God's truth, and it's harmful, and it will mean that you'll enter the spirit world at a much lower place, and it'll just be that much more difficult for you to progress. Now, I'm not. That's my belief, and you're right. I could be wrong. I could be. And if I am, I will tell you at some point. If I come to believe something different, then I will tell you. But that is my belief, and I'm not trying to tell anybody else what to believe. I'm just trying to describe the best I know how, and I have not experienced what I'm talking about. So I do not know of these things which I'm talking about. I do not know. And kind of along with that is the being responsible to ourselves. It's kind of like not loving ourselves. To not be fully responsible to who we are and everything we do. If we give up that responsibility, then we are not acting in our highest good. So we are really not loving ourselves as fully as we could. If we give up our responsibility to, you can give it up to quite a number of different places, to your parents, to your spouse, to your family, to your country, to your president of your country. You can give up your responsibility for your own life, and you can try to make someone else or something else responsible for who you are. And that's a sin. It really is a sin to do that. It just doesn't lead to being a whole person. So that's huge. That's a huge thing, of course, and I've talked a little bit about that, and I will talk about that more. But that's a big thing. And all those things, all those beliefs that we have that I'm pointing at, that are not true. I mean, it's true that we are fully responsible for ourselves. We have free will, and we choose our life. And I know it doesn't, to many people it doesn't seem that way. I understand that. But the more you give off your responsibility to someone else, probably the more you're going to feel that it's someone else's responsibility. And it's not God's way. It's not in truth of God's truth. And at some point you're gonna know that. You're gonna come to know that. And but the more our beliefs are out of line with the truth, God's truth, the lower we will enter the spirit world. And the lower we enter the spirit world, the more difficult it will be. And it might be difficult depending on our belief structure and depending on how unloving we have been. We might live in a terrible place for a long time. Not the goal, but everybody can grow, everybody can prosper, everybody can come up in levels. And it is again, it's your free will that's either doing that or keeping you down there. So anyways, so that's some talk about the spirit world. And we just need to remember that we're going to live in that spirit world a long time. And after a time, our life on earth will just be a dim memory. We just will not remember much about it. It's just it'll take on so little importance after a time. There's many people that are very attached to the earth, and they spend a long time after they have died being on the earth, and many of them are very harmful to other people. They're carrying their beliefs and what they did on earth with them when they come back, and they are not nice spirits. But we do always have the difference between a nice spirit and a not nice spirit. A nice spirit knows that they will not try to change your will. They know that you have free will, and they allow you to have that. And they don't allow you; they don't interfere with that. But a bad spirit is interfering with your will all the time. That's really what they want to do, and they're interfering with it. They're not stopping it. You still have your free will. You are allowing them to do that, but they will interfere where possible. And if you are strong in love for yourself, then you won't let that happen. But so, thank you for listening. Hi, I did another take of that video that you just watched, and I went for about 8 minutes, and then I didn't keep going. It just didn't feel right. I think I was pushing it. I think I wasn't. I was thinking, oh, I should do another video, and it wasn't. I just didn't really have the desire, I think, to do it well. But anyways, I said that I'm showing you everything that I video, so I'm just going to add it on the back of the last one you watched. And I don't like it. I don't like watching myself in it. So there you go. Hi. Today I'd like to talk about the spirit world. I've mentioned it before, but today I just thought I'd fill in a few details. Now there's gradations in the levels, and the levels are numbered. And as far as I know, they go from 1 to 36. And 36 was where Jesus and Mary had gone to when they were in 36 when they decided to incarnate again into the world. So that's as high as, it's as closest to God as far as I know, as anybody has been. And there's kind of two paths we can follow in the spirit world, but we also can follow them on earth. The one path is the well-known one, and excuse me, and it's called the natural love path. And it has a ceiling at it, and it's this, and it's the sixth sphere, the sixth level. And beyond that, it's 7. Then that's the start of the divine love path. And the natural love path is someone who has worked out all their unloving behavior, and they've come to repent of it, from it, for it, and they've come to full forgiveness of everyone, and they are very loving to themselves and to everyone around them and to the natural spirit world, and they have a lot of pursuits, interests, spiritual things to do, and they are very, very conscious of helping others where they can, and in lower levels. But what they don't have is they have not received, they have not asked or received for God's love. And that's really the thing that people can do to go beyond the six and go on to the divine love path. And as far as we know, that path never really ends. It just continues. It just gets better and better. Now, most people, probably almost all people, when their body dies, they enter the spirit world in the first level. But in the first level, it has wide degradations, and it has, at the very bottom is very dark, and it's called the hells, and the very bottom is extremely dark, and you don't see much. You probably don't hear much. There just doesn't seem to be a lot going on except darkness. But depending on your soul condition and how much love you have had on earth, then you will enter in the top part of the first level sphere. Is very similar to Earth. It has the similar brightness, and it feels, a lot of things just feel the same as Earth. So we all probably enter somewhere in there. And when I talk about having love, that's the level you're at is the God's, the amount of what God would consider love, not necessarily what man considers love. So there's quite a difference, and a lot of what happens on earth is not God's love. We might consider it love, we might consider it caring and compassionate, but if we really can look at it critically and openly and honestly, we might be able to see that it's may not be caring, it may not be compassionate, and it may not be love. And so I would say many people feel that they are extremely loving, and that they should enter the spirit world at a high place. But you'd really need to look at that love from God's perspective to know. And there's so many things that we could look at, and I've kind of touched on some of those things, and I will talk about more of those. Not that I'm an expert in those things. I'm not, but I do have I have some ideas about what might be God's love and what might not be. And so that depends where that's. So you're call that your soul's condition, is about the amount of love that you have